Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we'll be discussing how to build a home studio for drummers. So if you're getting into drums and you want to start recording them and making your own music, you've come to the perfect spot. I'll be breaking down everything that you need to build a home studio, everything from the drum set to the room to the gear to the type of computer you have. That'll all be covered. Building a home studio can cost a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of frustration, but it doesn't have to be that way. In this video, I'll break down everything you need in order to get a studio up and running, ready to record at any time. I'll be showing you the gear that I use personally, as well as recommended gear for a great start for a home studio, as well as how to get the best price possible. Because let's face it, nobody wants to be spending a ton of money on this kind of stuff. It's better to do it right the first time than to keep buying and buying over. As I say, buy right or buy twice. That's what I follow, at least. So also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so that way you're notified every time a new video appears. Alright, building your home drum studio. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, this is the most obvious one. If you want to have a home studio, you have to have a room. And I know I'm kind of saying that in a lighthearted manner, but it is probably one of the hardest steps in having a home studio is just finding a room to be able to play in and to be able to record. Once you can get a room for that, you've already done probably 70 to 80% of the work. Now, whether you're building a studio in your house or in a shed like mine right here, or in your bedroom, as long as you have enough space to fit a drum set and a desk for all your gear, that's really all the space you need. So for reference, my home studio is about 10 feet by 12 feet. You can see by the footage here. You can kind of tell roughly about the size just from looking at the video. I'm able to fit a huge desk, all my amps, drum set, gear for recording, and still have some space left over. So you don't need a ton of space per se. It is always helpful to have more space, but if you are working with a tiny bedroom or, you know, like a small loft area, it still is possible to make it work. Awesome, so you finally set up shop. Now it's time to fill up your room with a drum set. There's thousands of different kinds of drum sets on the market with all sorts of different price points. But we're going to talk about 3 that I would recommend to begin with. Now, before I talk about these drum sets, you don't need the latest and greatest. You don't need the most expensive set, especially when you're starting out. You want something that you can grow into and get comfortable with. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to improve our skills on the set. We're not trying to have the fanciest drum set out there. When it comes to budgeting, I would consider anything 500, 600 or less to be your beginner sets. 600 to 1,000 for your mid-level sets. And then anything well over 1,000 is going to be like your top of the line flagship model drum sets. So the number 1 drum set I will recommend is my drum set, the Mapex Armory Studio Ease 6-piece kit. It sounds amazing. I will recommend this 100 times over. This is an amazing drum set for the monies. This one's $1,000. With it, you get 4 toms, you get the kick, and you get a snare included. And for $1,000, that is a huge bang for your buck. The drums are built with a maple core with a inner and outer birch shell, and you can tune these to accommodate pretty much any genre of music. It's such a versatile drum set, it sounds awesome, and I'll keep saying this, I'll recommend it over and over again. It comes with a bunch of finishes and even a custom finish on Sweetwater if you're looking to hone down on your style. Number 2 is the Yamaha Stage Custom Drum Set. This was probably the best beginner drum set for the money. It's a $799 drum set. It has all birch drum shells and it has an amazing sound. You can tune them to pretty much any genre as you wish, and they'll sound good in any situation. There's also a ton of colors to choose from. It's honestly overwhelming how many different colors this drum set comes in. But yeah, an absolute solid choice for the money, and that one I also recommend. And number 3 for the best affordable drum set, that would be any used drum set you can find online. Will always encourage to shop secondhand. You can save some money. It's also a way more affordable option than buying brand new drums. You can find amazing deals on websites. The first drum set I actually used was completely free. They are out there. You just have to search for those deals. And trust me, if you search hard enough, I know you'll be able to find a great bargain on a drum set. And then you can allocate some of that money that you would have spent on a brand new kit to other parts of your studio. So it's a win-win. Now we're going to move on to the second half of the drum set, which unfortunately kind of gets a bit expensive from here. And that's cymbals and hardware for your drums. So you can't have a drum set without a good set of cymbals, right? So first and foremost, you need to get some cymbals for your drums. These are the cymbals I use personally. It's the Zildjian A Sweet Collection. This is one of my crashes. Love this sound. Good for modern rock and things like that. I picked them up from my local guitar center for about $900, but don't worry, there's some cheaper options that we're going to get into right now. Now, chances are that if you bought a used drum set online, you already have some cymbals, which is great. But if it didn't come with any cymbals, or you're just looking to upgrade, the best route is to buy cymbal packs, so you'll get the most out of your money with cymbal packs. Your standard cymbal pack will come with your 14-inch hi-hat, a 16 and 18-inch crash, and a 20-inch ride cymbal. Now, most of the cymbals I have on my list follow the standard cymbal pack size, but some of these will kind of vary in size though, depending on price and configuration. For each of these 3 cymbal packs I'm about to show you, I also have recommended upgrades for them, just because cheaper cymbals tend to sound worse than cheap drums. Cheap drums you can kind of get away with if you just tune it right, but if you get cheap cymbals, they just may not sound right for you, so that's the reason why I'm recommending these upgrades. But as long as you have your hi-hat, 1 crash, and a ride, you should be good to go. Starting at number 1, we have the Meinl HCS Basic set. So this is one of the cheapest, most affordable options out there. This set is $259. With it comes a 14-inch hi-hat, a 16-inch crash, a 20-inch ride, and then a bonus 10-inch splash cymbal. It's a great value cymbal pack and I highly recommend it. Now, if you would like to upgrade within the Meinl brand in the future, I recommend the Meinl Classic Custom. This pack is $619 and it gets you your 14-inch hi-hat, 18-inch crash, and a 20-inch ride. Or if you're looking for something with a little bit more of a dark sound, we also have the Meinl Custom Classic Dark Pack. This cymbal pack will also run you $619, and these come with 15-inch hi-hats, an 18-inch trash crash, a 20-inch crash, and a 22-inch crash ride. Number 2 on our list is the Zildjian I Series Pro. These will run you $479. With it comes a 14-inch hi-hat, 16-inch and 18-inch crash, and a 20-inch ride. Now, I've played around with these personally. Zildjian is my favorite cymbal brand, and I will say that these are great cymbals for the money. If you're looking to upgrade within the Zildjian brand, I recommend the Zildjian S pack. These will run you about $639, and it comes with 14-inch hi-hat, 18-inch crash, and a 20-inch ride. And finally, number 3 on our list is the Sabian B8X pack. These will run you about $349, and it comes with your 14-inch hi-hats, 16 and 18-inch crash, and 20-inch ride. And if you're looking to upgrade within the Sabian brand, I recommend the Sabian XSR. These ones are about $709, and you get your 14-inch hi-hats, 16 and 18-inch crash, and a 20-inch ride. If you're looking to upgrade to these cymbals, I highly recommend them. I've played around with them a bit, and they sound great. Okay, so we have a room, we have our drums, but if we want to record music, we gotta have mics too, right? So let's get into that. So before I get into my recommendations, you should first determine how many mics you want to be using to record your drums. If you're on a tight budget or you don't want to have to deal with miking up 7 different microphones, then you could get away with using less mics. You can actually even get away with using only 1 microphone. The method I would recommend is using 3 microphones for the set. That would be 1 on the kick drum, 1 on the snare, and then an overhead mic directly above the entire drum set. That will get you as close as you can as if you were miking an entire drum set with 7 different microphones. It's the closest way to get that professional sound while also still saving some money. But if you can afford a 7-piece mic set, I would just go with that. That being said, let's get into the number 1 on this list, which is what I use, and that's the Audix DP8 mic kit. It's an 8-piece mic kit. It comes with 3 pencil condensers, 3 tom mics, 1 kick mic, and 1 snare mic. Now these go for over $1,000. They're a little pricey, but they sound amazing. The build quality is amazing. It comes with a good case if you're touring and using your mics on stage. They have a modern, beefy, punchy sound to them, and they're just so fun to record with. Now, if spending $1,000 on mics doesn't sound that attractive to you, don't worry, because the other 2 options are just insane for the price. Which brings us to number 2 on our list, and that's the Behringer BC1200 7-piece mic kit. It comes with all the same mics as the DP8 kit, except it has 1 less pencil condenser mic. So you can mic up all your drums with it just as you would with the other set. And get this, the price is $129. I know, it sounds crazy, but I'm not lying. This whole set is $129. It's an absolute steal. If you're starting out, there is nothing more to ask for with buying this kit. You get decent quality mics to start with that will last you a while. I highly recommend these mics if you're trying to save some money. And then number 3 on our list is the Samson DK707 7-piece kit. Exact same mics as the rest. Great build quality. It also comes with a very beefy case. So if you're worried about them breaking, if you're taking them on tour or around places, you don't have to worry about that. And these come in at $299. So again, amazing price for what you get. And my high school actually used these when I used to play lives, and I can vouch for the quality. They sound amazing. So there's nothing wrong with going with these either. Now I also have a bonus recommendation for you. I highly recommend you throw this in with whatever mic kit you buy. You may have seen it sneaking around in this video. That's right, a Shure SM57 dynamic microphone. What more can I say? It's a fucking SM57. These things are legendary. They sound amazing. You can record literally anything with it. Drums, guitar, bass, vocals, literally anything you have, and it sounds awesome. All for $99, which is an insane price. If you're thinking about getting this mic, don't even think about it and just buy it. You will thank me later. Alright, now let's talk about mic stands and cables. Unfortunately, a lot of drum mic packs don't come with mic stands. A lot of them will come with mic clips though for your snare and toms. But as for these guys right here, you're going to need to buy some extra mic stands. These right here are called boom stands. You can find all sorts of different boom stands from all sorts of different companies. They all get the job done. Any of them will do. I won't recommend Proline only because their products tend to break down pretty easily over time. But if you're looking for any specific brands, I recommend DR Pro and Gator Frameworks. Those things are built super solid and it will not fall apart. Also, you could buy a few extra mic stands if you want more control over the position of your mics above the drums. So if you're buying a standard drum mic pack and it doesn't come with boom stands, you'll probably need at least 2 of these, and then that'll get you completely set up for your overhead mics. You're also going to need a mic stand for your kick drum mic. It's the same deal with the boom stands. Companies make all sorts of different mic stands for kick drums. The one I use personally is from Gator Frameworks, and that thing is super heavy, super solid, and I love it. It gives me a lot of control for positioning the kick drum mic, and it's so versatile. So to wrap it up, you really only need 2 boom arms and then 1 mic stand for your kick drum mic, and then you'll be good to go for recording. Now the only thing left is to get cables for your drum mics. So pretty much all drum mics will use a standard XLR cable. That's the one with the 3 pins and then a little push release. Those are the types of cables that you want to look out for drum mics. Brand doesn't really matter. Guitar Center has great brands. You can also find great XLR cables on Amazon or any other online store. If you're a big color coding person, there's a bunch of XLR cable packs with different colors. So that way you can keep your studio organized and avoid confusion when you're routing through a whole mess of cables. Because trust me, it's gonna happen. Now in terms of length, it really depends on your situation. But if you are recording drums and routing it to a desk connected to an interface, you're probably going to need cables between 15 to 25 feet, depending on your situation. So you've got your drum set, you've got your mics all set up perfectly ready to go. Now you just need to route them to an interface, which is what we're going to talk about now. So I'm going to keep it really simple when it comes to interfaces because it can get complicated very quickly. If you're miking up a full drum set, that really leaves you only with one option, and that's to get an interface with at least 8 inputs. That way you have all the room to connect all your inputs to and possibly have extra inputs depending on how many mics you're using. So to keep things simple, I'm only going to recommend 2 different audio interfaces in this video, which brings us to number 1, which is the Focusrite Scarlett 18i20. That's the one I personally use, and now this interface is going to run you about $500. Honestly, I don't think that that's bad for what you get. You get a lot of versatility and also room to grow with this interface, and for that I think it's a great price. It has 18 inputs, 8 of those are line/XLR ins, and there's also 20 outputs, with 10 of those being balanced line outs. It is a solid built interface with great preamps. I love this interface to death. Its drums sound really good on it. The levels are really easy to read, the knobs feel really nice. Comes with your standard 48 volt phantom power. You have dimmer and mute switches, and you also have a talkback mic, which is pretty cool. You also have word clock in and out, SPDIF in and out. You also have optical in and out, which allows you to expand the number of channels you can route through your interface, so that's pretty cool as well. You also have 2 headphone jack ports for monitoring with headphones, which is really neat. Now, number 2 on this list is the PreSonus 1824C. In terms of configurations and features, it is pretty much identical to the Scarlett 18i20. The only thing that it does not have is the talkback option, which is on the Scarlett 18i20. The Scarlett 18i20 also has its own air option, which you can add to each preamp specifically, whereas the PreSonus does not have that option. It has the same number of line XLR ins, same number of line outs, and in terms of sound quality, I hear that they are pretty much identical. Like, you could not tell a difference. And get this, it's the exact same price as the Scarlett, so it's gonna run you about $500. So they're both virtually the same interface. They sound very close together in quality. Honestly, I don't think most people could tell unless the Scarlett had the air option on. So really it just only comes down to red or blue, pretty much. Alright, so now we have our audio routed to our interface. The last few things that we need to look at are getting our audio from our interface to a computer. We're going to be looking at 3 laptops. I chose laptops simply because of their portability. Desktops are just as capable, but in this list we're going to be looking at laptops only. Now, if you have a computer at home, chances are it'll work just fine when making music, but if you want to be on the safe side in terms of computing capability, I highly recommend you follow this criteria. In terms of CPU, I recommend Intel i5 or above. Anything above i5 will work just fine, and it'll give you a lot of computing power for those high load tasks. Now, in terms of storage space, I recommend 1 terabyte of storage. Thankfully, storage has gotten so cheap these days. I have a 5 terabyte drive that I bought for $99. So 1 terabyte is like the minimum, but if you can get more, the better. And lastly, your RAM or memory. I recommend 16 gigabytes of RAM or above. Some DAWs let you get away with 8 gigabytes, but if you want things running smoothly, I recommend having 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now let's look at the 3 laptops on this list, which all meet the criteria. And with number 1 on our list, we have the Asus VivoBook M1605. Now, this computer CPU is an AMD Ryzen 7, but that's just as capable as an Intel i5 or above. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, a 1 terabyte SSD, and the price comes in at around $700. So it's really great price for what you get here. Number 2 on our list is the Dell Inspiron 14. It comes with a 13 gen Intel i7, so it has plenty of power for music production. This computer also comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD, and it comes in at around $749, so a little more expensive than the last one, but just as good value. Now, number 3 on this list, I intentionally left this last just because of how insanely expensive it is, but everyone probably knows what I'm talking about. It's the MacBook Pro. This MacBook Pro that we're looking at specifically has the M2 chip. This configuration also comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD, but it comes in at a hefty $2,499. Yikes. Now, I know it's an insane price, but if you can get your hands on a MacBook Pro, even a used one for that, it is a great tool, especially for music production. Any of these computers on this list will definitely get the job done, but the MacBook Pro just takes it to a whole new level. Now, if you're not looking for a fancy new machine, they also do have MacBook Pros for as cheap as $1,000 to $1,500 used. So if you want to save a bit of money, there's that. Alright, once you get your hands on a computer, the next thing that you're going to have to get is a DAW. A DAW, or a digital audio workstation, is going to be the hub of your studio. This is a piece of software that's going to allow you to record your audio coming from your microphones. Now, the thing about DAWs is they each have their own layout and style and different approaches to creating music, but because we're recording live acoustic drums, we're going to be focusing on 3 DAWs that excel in audio recording specifically. And number 1 on our list is Pro Tools. You've most likely heard of them. They're pretty much the industry standard for when it comes to recording music. It's kind of scary to learn at first, but once you get past it, it's really easy to go about recording music on it. It has some of the best features for audio recording, and it's also great with MIDI and music creation as well. The only downside, in my opinion, is that you have to pay monthly for it, but the intro price starts at $10 a month, so a really great deal if you're considering Pro Tools. Number 2 on this list is Ableton Live. This is the one I use. I think it's a great DAW. It's a great workstation. Ableton Live is mainly built to create electronic music, but it's really good at audio recording as well, and also has a great piano roller. Now, unlike Pro Tools, you buy Ableton Live once and you have it forever. And the cheapest option, Ableton Live Intro, starts at $79. So great option, another one to consider as well. And number 3, for my Mac users, we have Logic Pro X. Now, if you have a MacBook Pro or you really like GarageBand, then Logic Pro X might be for you. Logic Pro X is considered the industry standard secondary to Pro Tools because of its clean-looking, efficient layout. It has great and powerful recording capabilities, an amazing piano roll, and if you're into music building as well, there is a ton of software for MIDI instruments, and you also have a drummer that can play along to your tracks with you. So a really impressive option for what you get, especially for the price. Logic Pro X comes in at around $199. This one is a steal in my opinion. If you have a MacBook, I would highly consider getting Logic Pro X. Now, once you find the DAW that's right for you, I highly encourage you to dive deep into that DAW and learn all the ins and outs of it. Click all the buttons, see what they do, learn it and master it, and you will become that much better as a producer and a drummer. Alright, so you got everything in your studio now, but there's one more piece of equipment that's essential if you want to get up and running with recording drums, and that is a good set of monitors. Now, whether if you want to go with some classic closed-back headphones like these Sennheiser HD 300 Pros, or a set of actual physical monitor speakers like these M-Audio BX5 Graphites, really it's up to you for preference. Now, because we're drumming, I would recommend that you stick with closed-back headphones like these, where the back is completely sealed and there's no opening. That way you can use one pair of headphones both for when you're recording drums and while you're mixing drums. This is my personal weapon of choice, the Sennheiser HD 300 Pro. I absolutely love these and I will stand by Sennheiser. They are one of the best entry-level headphones that you can buy right now. With that being said, let's get to number 1 on our list for headphones, which is the Sennheiser HD 280 Pro. These headphones come in at $99. This is probably the best entry-level headphone that you can buy in the market right now. I'm a little biased, but I love Sennheiser. They probably have my favorite headphones that I've had ever. I used to own a pair of these and I wore them till the cups fell out and fell apart. It's such an awesome set of headphones. It's so versatile and it comes in at such an incredible price. It's hard to turn that down. Coming in at number 2 is the Audio-Technica ATH M20X. These are a really good brand too. I've known people that wore these and they are really great entry-level headphones. These come in at $49, so even better deal. You're still getting an amazing set of entry-level headphones that will do the job. I highly recommend these headphones. Coming in at number 3 is the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro. These coming at $169. I wore these myself and tested them out. They are really comfy, so I imagine you won't really get that much fatigue after hours of playing drums. And what's great about Biodynamic is they come with several different ohm configurations. The one on this list specifically is the 80 ohm. So great for plugging into your phone and listening to music, but also great for using on an interface as well. Alright, so if you want to go the monitor route, I have 3 monitors on this list for you that are pretty great value, with number 1 on this list being the KRK Rocket 5G4 monitors. These come in at $378. It's a really great value, and it's a really popular set of monitors too. A lot of people use them, so that right there tells you how good they are. Number 2 is the M Audio BX5 Graphites. These are the ones that I personally use right here. These are really good beginner monitor sets. I've had these for a few years now, and they've served really well. The bass is a little questionable, but they are really great beginner monitors. So I highly recommend to check those out. Number 3 is the Yamaha HS5, another really popular monitor that a lot of people use. These come in at about $399, so a little pricey, but still have great value, and they also have a really great sound to them. You can also get them in white too, if that's your thing. If you're looking to upgrade in the future, I would highly recommend getting at least 1 set of headphones and 1 pair of decent monitor speakers to start. And that's it. You now have everything you need for a fully functioning drum studio. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like and subscribe button and hit the bell notification as well to stay tuned for a part 2 where I tell you how to improve your home studio to help optimize workflow. I hope you enjoy your brand new studio and happy drumming. I'll see you guys in the next one.